Hey guys, this is Jared from Transformational Coaching. Action is transformation. Guys, in this video we're going to get into how to create relationships. If you've seen my video content for a while now, then you know the importance that I place on relationships. Relationships make up our life. Family relationships, romantic relationships, friendship, business relationships. If you know how to execute, create, and maintain relationships, then you will be able to live a happier, healthier, more holistic life, the type of life that you want to. First, I'm going to share with you some of the misconceptions around relationships. Because in our culture, and how we've been conditioned by media and our culture, they teach us that relationships are something that just happen at random and they're whimsical. You just fall in love with someone. It just happens. Or, it's just something that comes into your life. You just click with another individual. That's not true. That may have been your experience up to this point, but this video, the purpose of it is to flip that old narrative on its head. You actually create relationships, and you always have. You just might have not done it consciously. So first, I'm going to share with you the old misconception, blow that out of the water, and then I'm going to give you the formula to create relationships the way that you want to, so you can increase the happiness, the well-being, and the fulfillment that you receive from your business relationships, your romantic relationships, your friendships, and your family. So let's get into it. So I can remember my first real romantic relationship. I was 16 years old and I was in high school, and I was dating this girl, and she just really loved me. And she loved me, and she gave me all these things. She bought me skinny jeans. She bought me Hollister t-shirts. She brought me hair braids because she wanted me to grow my hair longer, but she wouldn't say that, but she would insinuate it. And she just gave so much of herself to me. And she gave so much of herself to me that I really started liking her and then loving her. And then I started giving stuff back to her in return. And it wasn't until years later did I look back in that relationship and realize that it wasn't that I was struck by Cupid's arrow or that it fell from heaven. She created those feelings of love and affection and me wanting to give back to her. She did that by how she showed up in the relationship. Now, I didn't realize at the time that she wanted to be more of an emo kid or an emo person, but the key here is she gave. And that's really key. She gave and she showed up. And in a lot of our relationships today, we have this false cultural understanding that's been conditioned into us by the media that relationships are just something that happen. People come into our life and they stay there, and we just either click or we don't. And it's the same with romantic relationships. But let's slow things down a little bit. Let's reverse engineer the process. Think of a time when you fell in love, or think of a time when you really, really enjoyed a person's company and really liked them. Why did you like them? What about how they showed up in your life allowed you to show up in a different way, or pulled you in, or made you like them or feel more affection for them? When I look back at all my relationships, I noticed one thing, that the people that I love and care about most always gave to me. They always gave, and they just gave. They were open, they were honest, and they gave themselves to me. Whether it was time, whether it was energy, whatever it was, they first gave. And then when they gave, I felt that. I felt that energy, and I received that energy, and that felt good. It feels good to receive. And then I wanted to give back. So a lot of the times, you see guys, we think relationships are something that are out of our control. We think that we can't create them to how we want to. We think that it's just something that falls out of the sky, or we get hit by Cupid's arrow. But it's not. We can create them. You can create affection, or you can create love, or you can create desire within another person based off of what you give and how you show up. And you can do it in any area of your life: business, romance, friendship, or family. Those are the 4 areas that we mostly deal with in our life when it comes to relationships. And so now I'm going to share with you the formula to how you can create relationships however you want to. You are not doomed to just your family or the friends that you have or the romantic relationships that you've attracted in the past. See, a lot of people reach out to me and they say, I've had this type of family and I'm always attracting these types of relationships. Forget about attraction. It's not about attraction. It's not about the law of attracting. People are thinking there's something wrong with them. Oh, I just keep attracting narcissistic relationships in my life, whether it's in business, whatever area it may be in. Think about the law of creation. How can you take back your power? How can you show up differently with people to create relationships in a way that you want to see them work? But you have to put in the time, and you have to put in the effort and the energy. And most people, they're not willing to do that. So here's the formula. Apply this today, tomorrow, or a week from now. Apply it whenever you want, but do it and apply it and watch all your relationships transform in front of your eyes. I promise you, if you just do this. A lot of people are scared to do this because it requires you to be vulnerable and open. So that's the first thing. You have to be vulnerable and you have to be open. And then after that, you have to give. Right? And so that's really scary for a lot of people. You see, a lot of people, they just want to get things in life. They want to receive. They say, I want that nice husband or that nice wife or that perfect business partner. They want all these things, or the perfect client. They want all these things, and they think about it from an attraction standpoint. How can I attract this into my life? If I can just be a certain way, I'm just going to attract this in my life. It doesn't work like that. How can you show up to life in a different way that will bring those types of people in? That's the real question you should be asking for yourself. How can I show up as a different individual, and based off of how I show up, that will allow certain relationships to come into my life? It's not about attraction, it's about creation. So, first key thing is openness. How can you be more open? How can you be more vulnerable with people? A lot of people, they don't want to be vulnerable. It's uncomfortable. They want intimacy and they want depth in all different areas of their life and their relationships. But if you want intimacy and you want depth and you want meaning and fulfillment, then you got to be open first. You got to be vulnerable first. Depth, if you look at it, depth requires you to be open, right? You go deep. But you can't go deep. You stay here at the top surface if you're not willing to be open. And being open means being vulnerable. And being vulnerable means being honest. When you're honest with people, that's key. Then you build trust. And that trust is the bridge for the relationship to come together. Guys, this is stuff that took me years to figure out. Okay, so this is years of pain, hurt, and suffering in business and romance and friendship in all different areas. Okay, so really take this to heart if you really want to create relationships how you want to. First, be open. Second, be vulnerable. Third, give. Give to other people. A lot of people, they want to receive. They say, I want a person to treat me this way and that way. Well, how are you treating other people? So first, give. First, give others. Give value in order to get value. It's one of the key rules in life, man. Just give value and you will get value back. You first have to show up. People don't want to give value. They first want to get value and then they say, okay, now I'm getting value, now I can give. It doesn't work that way. Give first and then you'll receive back. Trust the world around you. After you give, that other person will be either open to your gift and they'll receive it, or they'll be closed off. If they're closed off, then you don't want that type of person in your life anyway, because they're not going to give back to you. But if they're open to it, then they will reciprocate and they will give back to you, and that'll build a connection. And then you build on top of that, and that's how you build a relationship. It's really that simple. It's a pretty simple process, but we get in the way of ourselves emotionally because we're scared to be vulnerable, and we're scared to be open, and we're scared to give without the guarantee of receiving. That's scary for a lot of people. They say, well, if I'm going to give, I want to know that I'm going to get something back. It's not how it works, okay? That's not how it works in business. That's not how it works in romantic relationships or friendships or anything. If you want to create depth and you want to create meaning and you want to create real value and fulfillment in any areas of your life with relationships, you need to first be open, vulnerable, and give. Start with those three things. That's all you got to do is those three things. Overcome your fears. Don't worry about maybe not getting anything back. Some people will reject you. Some people won't give back. You just move on and you go on to the next person. Just give, be open, be vulnerable, and give. And then that person, they'll give back, and that'll start building the relationship. Give value. First, give value in order to receive value. And then once you start that feedback loop between each other, then you'll create depth. You'll create meaning, and you'll create value between each other. And that'll build a satisfying relationship. Guys, you don't have to wait for people to come into your life. Go out there in the world. Start giving. You don't have to wait on Cupid's arrow to hit you. That's our societal conditioning. Oh, I just fell in love. Or, oh, we just clicked. Or we just felt good. We're like two peas in a pod and things stuck. And the things meshed. It's not how it works. If you look back and reverse engineer all your relationships, you'll see that you actually got involved in those relationships because they gave something to you. They fed you in some way. So what you need to do if you want to create relationships, feed other people, give energy, give time, give energy, give resources, whatever it is, give gifts. However it is that you want to create the relationship, give. That's how you create relationships in your life. That piece of information, that's not taught in our society. Our society values technical skills. How many words can you type in a minute? What's your engineering or architectural background? How do you want to be a doctor? What skills you need to learn? Technical skills will build you a career and they'll give you a paycheck. Soft skills, like the ability to create relationships through being able to listen or having empathy or being compassionate, that'll give you a fulfilling life. And what we want is both. We want a good paycheck, but we also want a fulfilling life. So learn these soft skills. Learn how to create relationships. Test out in the world what I'm sharing with you. Remember, guys, implement this. It doesn't matter. If you're just watching YouTube video after YouTube video and impaling information and you're not doing anything, you're not doing anything. Apply the information that I'm sharing with you. Don't watch another one of my YouTube videos until you apply these actions out there in the world. That's how you get transformation, right? Action is transformation. So go out there and try this. See if you can create a relationship, whether it's a business or a romantic or a friendship. See if you can create it the way that you want it to, and then feel free to write back or ask me any questions if you got any. All right, guys, that's all I got for this time. Thanks for joining me. Guys, if you want my 5 key secrets to transformation, check it out there in the YouTube description box below. You can download it. It's a free little video series that I send out to people. All right, guys, enjoy your week. I'll see you next time.